I don't feel myself qualified to properly represent him, but other than in principle and just on this general heading of oneness in a variegated position, jar jera se hoy, se sarvotam, and Mahaprabhu is pressing Ramananda to go further in his analysis of Krishna consciousness, because he's qualified to do so. Sometimes we're cautioned not to be too analytical. As Guru Maharaj once told me, analysis is a function of intellect. Too much intellectualism creates doubt. Doubt disturbs faith. And faith is our only way to understand this plane and the personalities that populate that plane. This is what I want to say, that this should be at the basis of everything that we undertake. A faithful position. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kohe Sudrida Nischoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. That dedicating myself to the one, the many are understood. The one being Krishna, as Veda Vyas announces in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Advaya Gyan, one thing to be known. Yasmin Vigyate Sarvam Eva Vigyatam Bhavati. The Upanishad slok that Guru Maharaj so often quotes, saying, try to know that one thing, upon knowing which everything is known. Try to acquire that one thing upon getting, everything is got. To satisfy that one person, upon whom satisfying everyone and everything is satisfied. In every way possible, focused on the most exclusive plane where the means of access are all-inclusive. So, Srila Guru Maharaj, one of his ontological themes is gradation or variety. Variety of tastes, variety of relationships, everywhere. He would say, sometimes, equality, we hate it. Once my sister-in-law said, oh, like conservatives. She liked that. And I've said, under the influence of this type of thought, where he's saying, no two atoms are alike, totally identical. Everything is unique. So the Americans, they pride themselves on the wit and wisdom of Thomas Jefferson, brilliant man, who Kennedy once said they have an annual dinner at the White House with all the journalists, and he said he also had some wit, and he said, looking at all these journalists and brilliant people, he said, I think this is the greatest assembly of intellect in the White House for a dinner, with the exception perhaps of when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. So that man, Declaration of Independence, other things, okay, begins with, all men are created equal. So they like to say that, yes, that's the promise that is America. All men are created equal. But a faulty statement It did not include women, nor people of color, and other types of living beings. So, not one to be known for a lack of audacity. I like to restate that as to be more inclusive, that all beings are eternally unique. This is a beautiful thing. Like the French have the saying, vive la différence. The differences between us sometimes bring us into conflict, but from another point of view, are to be celebrated. The individuality, the uniqueness. I tried to remind people in China recently and elsewhere that you are eternally unique individual. When we say Jive Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas, that is the meaning. You have a unique identity. There aren't two of you. There, even when there are identical twins, they're different. Superficially, they're the same, but internally different. I was sitting next to a lady on an airplane once, and she had two little girls, her daughter, twins. And they look like they're like 3 or 4 years old. And she said, this one is like a girly girl. They're dressed identical. She's very feminine and delicate, her movements. She said, this one like a tomboy. They looked identical, but their personalities are different, unique. So when I heard the world's leading authority on Hinduism speak at the University of California at Los Angeles, A.L. Basham, he wrote a famous book called The Wonder That Was India. So pre-Wikipedia, pre-internet, when there was the encyclopedia, he would write the entry for Hinduism and other things. And in his talk, discussed many things. But you could tell I consider him, and as others do, a closet Krishnite that shows many natural predisposition toward Krishna conception and Vishnu Bhakti, and just the whole, what is the wonder that is India. When it came to Mayavad, you could argue the Shankarites versus the Vaishnavites and Madhva and Ramanuja, but he put it very nicely at one point on the idea that we're all one. He said, I don't know if I want to be you. Finished. He said it's so like, ugh. So he dismissed Mayavad in one little statement. I don't know if I want to be you. Right? So Krishna consciousness is the ultimate celebration of diversity. Really, to the extreme. Right? Krishna, Advaitim Achyutim Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Madurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindam Ari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So many innumerable forms of Krishna, nuanced in different ways. Braja Gopis dismissing Dwaraka Krishna, dismissing the four, the Narayan. What is it in their hearts that they're searching for that can only be accommodated, satisfied, and fulfilled by Swayam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, stands at the right hand of Srimati Radharani, Radha Krishna, Radha Govinda. So that Krishna, we mentioned the first non-Krishna, but in a good way, Baladev, Balaram, and by extension, Shiva. Right? So, and in a delightful way, I mean, Balaram is sometimes opposed to Krishna. Right? When Uddhava and Krishna are consulting what to do in a particular, what diplomatic course to take, Balaram is called Mushalapani, who carries the plow. He's saying, why all the discussion? I just take my club and crack his head open like a coconut, and this matter will be finished. So that's like, whoa, little different approach. And you see, and his follower, by Vrindavan Das Thakur, if you don't take the mercy of Gaur Nityananda, I'm going to kick your teeth in. Like, ooh, who might his Ishtadevata be? Right? So, when Guru Maharaj is telling us there's gradation and everything and everywhere, sometimes you get very simple examples. Say, every day is not Sunday. There's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and you say, well, what really is the difference between Friday and Sunday? Well, there is. Same, but different, right? He said, you look at my hand, there's 5, right? Thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. They're same, but different. Right? So 5 Pandavas, Pancha Pandava. Yudhisthira having one personality, Arjun another, Bhima another, Nakul Sahadev. Sometimes when Gurudev needed something a little, what's the right word here? Untoward. If someone mentioned a particular devotee do that, he'd say, no, he's like Yudhisthira. Like, he won't be good for this. Meaning, honest to a fault. Right? Till that time when our Juhu Beach Mat, the ISKCON Mat, that Juhu Beach is like Hollywood, California. Of Bollywood, it's the place where so many movie stars live, and that's where the center, the temple is. So sometimes Bollywood actresses, they're also Krishna devotees. You know, come and see Prabhupada. And one came once and the whole room like heated up from all the men seeing the extraordinary beauty of this woman. And Prabhupada just talking to her and she's behaving like a devotee. Guru Maharaj will say, whether it's the flower will come to you and say, take me to Krishna. Or even the beautiful Bollywood actors will come, take me to Krishna. Yukta Vairagya Rupa Goswami. So Prabhupada, and she leaves, and it's an awkward silence in the room. And Prabhupada wants to say something about that. And he's saying that the Mayavadi's response to such a beautiful woman is to say, she's an illusion. There is no beautiful woman there. Just an illusion, like any other illusion. Right? He said, but the Vaishnavas, they will say, oh, no doubt that is a beautiful woman. He said, but they don't do anything about that, meaning in the mundane sense, but in the Rupa Goswami sense. Anashaktasha Bishayan Yataham Upayunjataha. Saying, what you take to be Bishaya, Bishai. No. Nirbandha, Krishna Sambandhi, Yukta Vairagya Muchite. Connected to Krishna, everything becomes perfectly adjusted. So, he told the story of when Yudhisthira was asked, because Kunti Devi, so beautiful, and we know she got her magic mantra when she was a teenage girl, and the outcome, any devata will come when she chants this mantra. The outcome is the Pandavas, long and short of it. So Kunti Devi is very, still beautiful, and even and as the mother. And Yudhisthira Maharaj was, aren't you ever attracted to the beauty of your mother? Right? And Yudhisthira cannot lie. He said, yes, but I control it with my dharma buddhi. So that is Yudhisthira. When Krishna told, say, Ashwatthama is dead, he hesitated, saying, that's not true, Ashwatthama is still alive. And Krishna, there was an elephant nearby who was dead. He said, thinking of that, you can say, Ashwatthama dead. That I can do. Arjun, another type. As so many times Arjun told he'll establish Yudhisthira as the king. Balaram having some affection for Duryodhana and the others, being their Astra Guru, and he just went on pilgrimage. That's a good thing. Sometimes if things get a little hot politically, go on pilgrimage. Just go to some holy places, visit them, like Guru Maharaj did in the aftermath of Gaudiya Mat. Arjun, we know he has special paraphernalia, his conch shell and his weapons and his Gandiva bow is very dear to him. You can imagine how dear the bow is to the Kshatriya. And these bows are personalities also, they're not ordinary. And he once said, if anyone ever blasphemes my bow, I'll kill him. Right? And when the Pandavas found themselves in a very difficult situation, at one point Yudhisthira said, fie on your Gandiva bow. Like, useless. The bow and you are useless. Then Arjun's ready to kill Yudhisthira because he made a vow, whoever will blaspheme my bow, I will kill them. Right? And Yudhisthira saying that so many 1,000 times you said, you vowed you'll install me as king. One time I say something about your bow, you're ready to kill me. So you understand, these Kshatriyas have some hot blood, personality, potential. Then perhaps Krishna suggested, he said, or Yudhisthira or Krishna saying, to praise yourself is a type of death. Just tell us how great you are. Because he said, either I kill them or I kill myself. He said, so just praise yourself. So many times, in so many ways, they're being tested. So, but Bhima, if Arjuna is like that, then what to speak of Bhima? Right? The expert with the club. When you think of Bhima, we think of the club, of him with a club. And how intolerable it was for him in the Kuru Sabha to what's the word? Where you don't take action. To sit, passively, yeah, while Draupadi was being insulted. Intolerable for him. So much so that he said that he will, when the opportunity comes, he'll rip Dushashan's heart right out of his body and eat it in front of him. And he dealt with so many others, and we know on the that such a personality fasting may be very difficult for him. Such a hunger, Brikodar, this burning hunger inside. So in that Bakasura demon, actually near Eka Chakra, where we go, the place of Nityananda, and that area is also where the pastime took place of the people who, once a year or a month, whenever, they have to send some offering to this Rakshasa. One person on the cart will go with all the foodstuffs and the offering. And it's time, the Pandavas are the guests of one family, and now that time has come. They have to sacrifice a family member. And Kunti says, my boy can do this job. No, you are our guest. And she's saying, no, actually, he's the right man. Believe me, he's the right man for this job. Really? Yeah. Don't worry about it. And we're told Bhima, he's on the cart with all the offerings going up the mountain. What is he doing? And he's eating all of them because he's so hungry because he can't fast. And when he gets there, to what degree is he hungry? That when that Rakshasa sees that he's eating everything and he starts fighting him, we're told Bhima's only fighting him with one arm. He keeps eating. He didn't even stop his eating to kill the man. Still eating. So, I think it's very encouraging to us, as you say, that if we know comparisons are odious, but if on some level we see these different divine personalities and they have certain tendencies, and somehow that vibrates within us sympathetically, it gives us some hope that there's not a stereotype personality that is acceptable. Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. he's reciprocating with everyone in all their variegated positions. Hanuman, he has his ways. Right? When Narottam Thakur says in one of his songs, he talks about Kam, Krodh, Lobha, Moha, that all of the full palette of emotions that we carry within us, they can be expressed in seva. It's possible. This is one of the themes in the Bhagavatam too. Even hinted at in Gita, Kama Raga, what is that? Ragaish, but and the other Kama Krodha. And Yudhisthira, after hearing about the Chitraketu pastimes, and Indra, and so many different types of devotees, Karma Misra Bhakti, Jnana Misra Bhakti, that Shishupal was, on account of his anger and envy, incessantly absorbed in thinking of Krishna. The Braja Gopis taking Krishna to be a charming, beautiful, delightful teenage boy, were irresistibly drawn, their hearts and affection toward him, not on account of Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of his divinity. So ultimately, when Uddhava and Vidura, Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jigangsaya Payayat Apyasadvi Lebhe Gatim Datri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. Saying, who is a more worshipable Lord and worthy master than Krishna? Dayalu, so merciful, that he gives the most extreme example. Putana approaches him with murderous intentions, and the end result is she's liberated and elevated to a position like that of a mother. Datri. Lebhe Gadatrim Gatim. She achieves that position. So Chakravarti Thakur will say, if that's the result for someone with murderous intentions, then even neutrality would get you a higher result. And Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, etc. Each, he takes it in that line.